The Reflex, baby. I watch too many movies. I was going for a Green Goblin effect.
That's what I figured.
Alrighty, so as you can see, we have the ISC Reflex right here to my left as I'm pointing right here. And then we have the Petzl Zigzag right over here to my right. First things first, let's dive right into the ISC Reflex, the brand new, the latest, the greatest innovation to the ARB market. Okay, so we have the ISC Reflex coming in with a rope acceptance of 11 mil to 13 millimeter, able to be used in both configurations of single rope, stationary rope systems, single rope technique, or moving rope system. Okay, so you can use it in both applications. Now, where this is going to be a little bit different is the ISC Reflex can be used in stationary rope without the need of additional friction for work purposes. So if you wanted to add friction, you can use something like this. I'll dive into a little bit later. But one of the big things here is read the manual. Don't just grab the manual and toss it off to the side. I've been guilty of that myself plenty of times. Now, don't do just that. You want to keep the manual because this is your contract between you and ISC Wales. Okay, no, but seriously, keep the contract, read the fine lines in there, because in there it states, or in one of the sections, it has a little diagram box. You know, it shows you ropes from 11 mil to 13 mil you can use without a wrench, moving rope, yada, yada, yada. And under that section, you're going to have a section. Under that section, it'll read 11 to 11.4 millimeter. It's going to have an X for single rope use without a wrench and tether. So if you're going to use a rope from 11 to 11.4, you must add additional friction to the device, such as the apex, the tether here with the squirrel. But if you're using a rope from 11.5 to 13, you guessed it, you don't need that additional friction. One of the cool things, well, moving on from that, one of the things that it's going to be that shine bright on the device is the midline attachable feature. Okay. If you're a person that likes to jump around from rope to rope, or you're doing something up top that you are going to ponytail redirect and you just want to send up rope rather than have a climbing system get beat up going around that branch you need to clear the route, that's what a midline feature can also do for you. So to take this device and open it up, I'm sorry. Right here on the front red plate, there's a little black guard to the button, okay? So you pull the black guard down, you depress the button, open up the side plate, exposing the rope channel, the pulley, and the friction body plate, all right? Rope goes through there. I will put it on the rope here in a sec. But to go back in, or lock the place up, just lock it in. You gotta lock in, bro. I'm just kidding. But the next thing here that they did that I thought was pretty cool is the ability to remove the swivel, okay? So inside, on top of the swivel here, there is a channel, and behind this friction body plate, I've been calling it a shark fin. The shark fin latches into the swivel, keeping the swivel in place. But if we were to move that friction body plate forward, and if I can do this real quick, there we go. Depress here, swivel comes out. Now, why might you want a feature like this? Or you might ask yourself, well, have you ever found yourself in an awkward position, somewhere out on a limb, all the way out 40, 30 feet, 20 feet, and then for whatever reason you can't line up your hips to make the perfect stretch out to the device like this comfortably. You have to stay locked in like this for whatever reason, and you're trying to do one of these right here, right? Oh, if only I can reach a little more. Okay, so that's where this comes into play. Swivel can remain attached to your suspension bridge, therefore reducing this much extra space. It's gone. Houdini. Who done it? Right? Stays attached on there. Voila. I thought it was a great feature. I tried it. It definitely keeps the system in tight and for a cent, right? Rather than having the system all the way up here, it's actually right about here. It's pretty damn neat. You have a same tending pulley. This goes back in. Pull the little fin, the body forward, lock it back in. The pulley here is not as large as on my right, but this is where it starts to get even more exciting, okay? Closes the plate. Line up the links. You always want to make sure that the arrows are pointed up in the correct way. And very similar to over here, right? It has the top release spring, the top lever. You're gonna depress that, and you can start beginning to begin your descent. Now, one thing they did here is they added a magnetic, really thin top plate. So this is to help keep the rope in place. It's not, you don't have to worry about it outside out of mind. Keeps the rope in place. The actual feeding of the rope, if you've messed around with a unisender, you know what I'm talking about right away. Unisender, same concept here for the links. You kind of go around the link, go back out this way, go back out this way, lock it into place, and you're ready to climb. I've been climbing on it, getting the feel of it. I know this is pretty much my initial review, my initial first impressions of the device in the tree, in my hands, feeling the whole device. But there will be more to come once the weather breaks and we can get out there on some easier temps, not frigid. We'll definitely be hitting up another outdoor video with the device. But back on track. The swivel is going to be replaceable, and there is a replaceable grommet right up here. Okay, this is where your primary attachment point is for single rope connection, and then either moving rope or moving rope to this bottom attachment point. Okay, so 1, 2 attachment points, and then you have the chest tending piece right here. Within the primary attachment point, there are 2 screws. Pop the screws out, open the side plate, and this piece will rotate. So if that internal grommet there or carabiner spacer ever gets damaged or wears down, that is replaceable. So you have replaceable swivel, replaceable grommet right there. Now, comes for my comparison of the Petzl Zigzag. I've used the Petzl Zigzag for quite a few years. I've learned to kind of flow with it. I learned how I like to run with that device. That being said, I do believe that the devices are modeled, or one is modeled after the other, but they're not the same. Same, but different. No, seriously. They are same, but function completely differently. This is where you will kind of find out whether you like it, you don't, you prefer the Zigzag, or you prefer the Reflex. Okay? Obviously the Reflex, midline attachable, rated for 2 people, single rope system without the additional wrench, which will have a compact system, but it does not run as smoothly as the Petzl Zigzag. Okay? As I was climbing, descending, paying out slack, tending the system, I can tell that there is a little bit additional friction or resistance, drag, however you want to look at it, however you want to call it. There's just that little bit of extra. So if you're looking for a unit that runs absolutely smooth, the Zigzag might still be for you. Okay, you just have to get over the fact that it's not midline attachable. But nowadays there are ropes that come with a very slim, sleek profile spliced eye design, which you can pop the rope up from the bottom to the top of the link, right? Rather than having to feed that rope all the way through. So that is a way of going around it. Or if you're just on single rope, you don't even need a spliced eye, just pop it right through, okay? But obviously those are some of the bigger things. Another thing that might dictate if you stay with the zigzag or you move on to it, is the simplicity of it, right? Less moving parts with the zigzag, right? I don't have to worry about a side plate. I don't have to worry about swiveling my rope through. And yeah, if you're looking for simple, runs effectively, user-friendly, zigzag is definitely still one of the great options. But if you're looking for a midline rope, you are someone who is safety driven also, because the unit is rated for 2 people. I don't know if I said that before, but I'm going to say it again. Rated for 2 people and can run without friction, and if you don't, without additional friction, but you don't mind that extra additional friction during your climbs, then and if you don't mind this swivel detach feature, then the ISC Reflex might be for you. But now one of the things that we're about to do is we're actually going to put this on a rope, and we're going to move on over to the truss. Let's get going over there. All right, we made it over to our truss system. We have an 11.5 Maverick hanging up. Alongside we have my zigzag, and in my hand here we have the ISC Reflex. Now I am going to reiterate some of the things that I did state when I was over there behind the little booth, little bar in front of the big A, just so that we can get the message across. Okay, so the ISC Reflex from 11 to 13 mil, read the instructions, where the weight categories are, and when you need additional friction for stationary rope systems. Now, the ISC Reflex, or as I've been calling it, the little tugboat. I like to refer to them as the largemouth bass and the smallmouth bass, right? Little tugboat, big largemouth bass. Okay, so here on the tugboat, I have my little plastic fin here, or protective guard that shields the button to open up the side plate. Pull that down, opens up the side plate. Okay, one of the things that I did not mention when I was behind over there, or mentioned earlier in this video, was the actual friction body plate on the inside. To me, it resembles that of a rope runner, okay? Rope runner has that body, the bump, right? The friction plate, the bump, and then the pulley, which you'll see the same thing here. This pulley pushes the rope into the friction body. Okay, so that's part one. So getting it on the rope, I'm gonna stand right here, and it's very simple. Open up the pulley, make sure there's not being pushed towards inside. Opens it up, get the rope in, slide the plate over, and it's closed. It's pretty simple. It's nothing crazy. It's very simple to put on the rope. Now the second thing here is making sure that the rope is aligned and the chain links are in the correct orientation. So on the links itself, yes, there is a diagram, an arrow, so to speak, to say, hey, point it up, that's the way that I need to align, match me to the other one. Now here, if you're familiar with the unisender, the rope just weaves around back and through the plates. So here, make sure that it's in between here, that bump, that plate, that friction guard there, and we're gonna go boom, weaving it back and through, weaving it through, and we're gonna weave it again, weave it one more time, and this little top plate again with the magnetic plate here will keep this from sliding out, going anywhere, and that's it. Okay, now I'm going to deliberately open up the plate so that you can see how the device loads, how it pinches the rope into the plate. But I'm going to press this. There is no weight on this device. That's why the side plate will open. If this device is loaded fully, tension and all, the side plate will not open. You can move this down, trying to press and open, but under load, this device won't open. Okay, let me state that right there. So right now, again, no weight, nothing. I'm gonna open it up so that you can see what's going on inside. So right now there's slight tension. Once I load, this pulley, again, pushes the rope in, rope comes out, and like a rope wrench right here, it gives us that immediate S-bend, okay? Giving the necessary friction so that we don't have to use that wrench. However, if you feel that is uncontrolled while you're climbing, then if you want to add the wrench, you may add it if you want to. And that'll be from person to person scenario. Not everybody's gonna want it. I feel like I didn't need it when I was using the device. But once you're fully loaded, I'm gonna attempt to open this, right? Feet off the ground, fully in load there. I'm depressing, and I can't, okay? You can pull down hard, but if you are opening this while under load, I think there is a serious problem there. Maybe the device is probably malfunctioning, or you have a defective unit, or if you force it really, really aggressively. I myself am not that big. If you are somebody that's stocked, you know, and you just pull on that plate, you may end up breaking your own device. So be careful with that. As you can see right here, we have an attachment point for stationary rope system, an attachment point also, additional attachment point, and then you have the third little black fin here. This is the attachment point for chest tending. So now, right, we're gonna go up a little bit. I don't have my ascenders on, so I'm just gonna foot lock just a little bit so I can get off the ground. Disconnect. As you can see, the device is functioning. I'm holding on to my place, okay? Same thing with the zigzag, same as the zigzag. Grab the links, thumb on the release lever, slowly depress until you find your rate of descent speed. So here we go. I can go fast, I can go slow, I can go really slow. Release, and you're held in place. For stationary rope system, I thought it was good, okay? I found that it worked better for me in stationary rope system. Now, if you do find yourself needing to add friction because you want that extra bit of control, you don't like to jump around a lot, you like having that very, very controlled release, you may add the apex, right? Now the apex here, again, ISC calls it an optimal connection. If you use an ISC Ultra Link, I'm going to use a carabiner. I don't own an Ultra Link. Apex opens up, goes in, depressed. Connection for stationary rope system. And they're saying that this is an okay attachment point, all right? Now, if I start to rappel, I'm having that little bit of extra friction in the play, making my rappel, my descent, a little bit smoother for me if I needed it. Now, that's it with friction, okay? It's pretty simple. Stand up. I'm gonna take this off, and we're gonna switch this over into moving rope. Now again, I did mention who this unit may be for. Another thing that if you are somebody that likes to transition, you know, go up on single rope, do a little bit of work, and then get to your tie-in point, advance or reconfigure your tie-in point to moving rope system, single up, double down, this might be something for you as well, because I don't need to add that extra friction. So that means I don't need to disconnect hardware. So all I have to do is add my friction saver up top. I'm trying to do this with a carabiner in place, being lazy. There we go. Open that up big enough, pop through. We're gonna go like this. Whoop. Don't clog me in the teeth. There we go. All right, here we go. For moving rope, I can use the top connection point, okay? Just like a standard setup, or I could use the second attachment. Now, one thing that, I don't know if it was something in my mind or something telling me, hey, this is not as smooth as this other attachment point, but when I was running this system in moving rope system, MRS, I felt a little more friction, a little more drag, resistance on my payout, right? And that's probably attributed to the way that the rope is being pressed in and then kinked right here, all right? It's not, I definitely was looking for it and I felt it. On the payout, on the tending, it wasn't as bad. I did set up a 3-to-1 for a stationary rope system, and I did feel it there also. But, okay, that's not that bad. I found it a little bit more suitable for me to release and rappel on moving rope from this back attachment point. This is the optimal, this is the okay. In the okay position was way more optimal for me. Again, different strokes, I mean, different ways. Everybody climbs differently. Like here, you know, I can pay out nice and easy, 10 slack, and call it good. Now, the last thing here is, okay, I talked about the removable swivel and how that can actually benefit somebody. I'm going to take this carabiner out. I'm going to untie one of my knots on my bridge. And before I pull this all the way out, I'm going to take this carabiner and I'm just going to attach it to my point here. In order to get the swivel out while this rope is still in load, I'm going to pull this, grab some rope, go up like that, and that allow me to move that friction body, depress that, and I'm not going to fully close it just yet. So this is the event that I wanted to really condense down my unit. I already have a really condensed bridge with the Kinesi Max, but if I wanted to keep it extra tight, you know what I'm saying, then this may be something that also is for you. Perfect. Okay, so that's on there. All I need to do is reinsert. We have reinsertion of the swivel. Make sure that that fin is in the correct groove. Lock the rope back in. And voila. That is tight. So if I was walking out, you know, if I'm sitting in it, unit's right here. If I'm walking out and if I get into a position where my body needs to be like this, for whatever reason, I'm trying to do something like this, like I'd have to go up here. Most of the times what you try and do in a position like this is aim your hip up to where your rope path is, and it allows you for a better stretch to actually grab the device, but not all the times are we in perfect scenarios, right? We're always in unpredictable spots. So if I'm out, as long as my hip is here, I can reach out. But if I can't do that, I need to be like this, and I just need to pay out a little bit, I don't have to reach out here. I just find it super tight, bend myself in, whew, much better. The device will definitely stay a lot closer to you. The swivel is replaceable, right? So if it does wear down from just grinding back and forth on that, it is replaceable. But that is the ISC swivel, or the ISC Reflex, and all its greatness. I'm going to do that, pop the rope out, I'm going to put that rope back in. I'm just going to leave it float right there for now. Little tugboat. Okay, now moving back to the zigzag real quick. Again, I do have a larger unit, but again, visually for me, when this is loaded versus when this is loaded, the links, because of that kink at the bottom, that bend at the bottom, it makes the links look alien to me because I'm so used to seeing a zigzag. This is just going to be different for a while until you get used to it, especially if you're going from here to there. It's going to look, you're going to look at it, the links are definitely a lot bigger. The whole body of the ISC Reflex is thicker, you know what I'm saying? It's thick, right? Profile, tugboat, small mouth, large mouth. Still though, this unit, when you run a zigzag, it is definitely smoother to me, right? It's smoother. It may not be a midline device, but again, not everybody likes something different. And I'm not here to bash one unit over the other. Both of them have a place of when and where and for who. for whom, okay? If you're somebody that wants midline, that is constantly changing ropes, single up, double down, this unit right here, the Reflex, might be for you. If you're somebody that wants less moving pieces, that you don't care for that detachable swivel or the side plate that opens, and you're okay with feeding a rope up through the device or from the tail end, from the bitter end down, the zigzag is definitely also for you. It's, again, like I said, I'm not here to bash. I like both devices. I've used the Petzl zigzag for a long time. I've been using this for a little bit, so I still have yet to formulate a true feeling of breaking it in. But again, that's like an initial review. This is something I've known. Again, I like this one here for a straight up moving rope system. I think for me, I would use this more in a stationary rope system than I would moving rope. Again, different places to use something. But again, hopefully this helps out with your decision making, whether a device is right for you or not. Let us know what you think down in the comments, bartlettman.com. Subscribe to the channel, give us a like, drop the comments in. I said it once, I'll say it again, drop the comments in. Thanks for watching, it's always appreciated, and we'll see you on the next one.